What is going on, everyone? Marc, host of the Breakthrough Success Podcast. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this episode because you hear about politics all the time, but that's not what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the business side because we have a guest who comes from the cutthroat world of political marketing. And among his victories, he's had over 2 decades of experience working on campaigns with billions of dollars in political ad spend. He's helped with election victories, House campaigns, Senate campaigns, and he's even helped with 3 U.S. presidential victories. So he's been really deep into this. He's had a lot of advertising dollars to spend, and people have different opinions on philosophies and things like that. But the business part of politics can really give you an idea of different things you could be doing for your business to go to the next level. So our guest who joins us is none other than Phillip Stutts. Phillip, welcome to the show.
Man, excited to be here. Let's jump right in.
Phillip, I'm so happy to have you on Breakthrough Success. And this is the type of topic that, we don't really get that much of. So it's really great to have you on the show. And I know you've managed like billions of dollars with all these different campaigns, and I'm wondering what kind of pressure that put you in to have that much money and how you got through it.
The pressure of those big budgets was not there wasn't really any pressure. It was excitement. When you get, you can ask any marketer out there, you give them $1 billion, they can do whatever. If they're good and they know what they're doing, they can turn that into a lot of, a big ROI. So for me, never any pressure, knew what we were doing. And, the difference between sort of political marketing and business marketing, I think there's a couple big differences. One is election day. Most businesses don't have election day. They have these boring words like, how is our brand management and quarterly reports, and are we advancing the ball and all those stuff. And in politics, man, you sign on, it's like a startup company on steroids. You sign on with a candidate, that candidate usually has no money. You hear self-funders all the time, but 99% of candidates are not. You got to be quick, agile. You got to make decisions. There is no bureaucracy. We don't use jumbled garbage words. We go fast, and that's the second key thing. It's speed. I'll give you an example. There was an election in Utah's 4th Congressional District last cycle in 2018. It was Ben McAdams versus Mia Love. And there were, I think, over 269,278 votes between the two of them, right? This campaign lasted 4 months. Ben McAdams was the Democrat. Mia Love was the incumbent Republican. And the race came down to 678 votes. That's it. Win or lose, Ben McAdams beat Mia Love by 678 votes out of 269,268 votes or something like that right there. Now, I would tell you, if you're a business owner out there or starting a show, whatever, what if I told you replace those two candidates' names with Ben McAdams and Mia Love? Replace their names. Put your company and your number one competitor. And I told you had 4.5 months. And I told you there would be 269,278 transactions. And at the end of 4.5 months, the difference between whether you're number one or number two in your market came down to 678 transactions. And then I told you if you finish second, you're out of business forever. How fast would you go? How fast would you innovate? How fast would you move? Would you talk about, well, we'll get to that next quarter? Or would you go now? Would you sit there and say, what's our brand identity? Or would you say, choose and go and spend and target and understand what the voters care about? Stop worrying about what we want to talk about. Everything is optimized. Everything is innovated. It's steroids marketing, and it's a lot of fun.
I mean, just hearing that sounds fun from the action standpoint, because there's a lot of theory and planning things out before you go into embrace marketing. But with such close time frame and no second chance, for business, if you have a bad quarter, you just recover, you just do things differently. But this is this is win or go home. That's the kind of atmosphere you have in the political space. And I'm wondering, how do you manage to like there's a speed factor. How do you manage to keep going forward at a fast pace and make sure you're doing the right things and avoiding the wrong stuff?
Well, I tell you, it's a difference, and this is metaphorical because we work with a lot of businesses, Fortune 200 companies, things like that. And hold on. And the key is, are you committed? Are you interested? See, the politician is completely committed to their marketing because they have election day. They don't care, whatever it takes, do the right thing. Why do we have negative political advertising? Because it works. It works so well that business marketers are scared to death to offend anybody, and they don't want to push the envelope. Politicians don't care because it's about winning on election day, right? And so the mistake that I've made, Mark, more than any other in the corporate marketing space is I ended up working with a lot of interested business owners who go, man, I'm super interested in that political stuff. Can you do it to my business? And I said, yeah, we have this 5-step formula that elects politicians that we've implemented into our business with corporate side. Every one of our corporate clients has grown their bottom line. Every single one that has implemented this 5-step process. But interested business owners chase shiny objects. And eventually 2, 3, 4 steps into what we're doing with them, they go, this process is great, but I really want the get rich quick pill. And there's another shiny object I need to chase over here. And you go down that, they run away, right? And I went, my God, I'm never working with interested people again. So we work with committed business owners because we know we can help grow their bottom line. Even in a moment as crazy as what we're dealing with on the pandemic side right now, 75% of our corporate clients have not only stayed and are spending money right now, they've doubled what they've done because this is a moment of exponential opportunity, right? And they go, look, ad rates are as low as they've been in 10 years. Google and Facebook told us just today that they will lose $44 billion with a B, $44 billion in ad revenue in the next 6 months, going into the end of 2020. Why? Why is that so important? Because rates are so cheap right now. Business owners that we work with, I'd say that 75% of our clients know that they're not going to grow their bottom line in the moment. But when things recover, and things will recover, they are going to be so well positioned. They're going to have so much more of the marketplace. They're going to own and dominate. And they know that, and they're good with it. We work with and I'll give you some examples. We work with a organic food and supplement company. And they know that right now people are at home going, my God, I've got to get my immune system up. I need to eat clean, and I need my supplements, and I want to be organic. I want to, choose organic products and supplements. Boom. We're going to double down and market the hell out of those guys and own that space, right? We work with a national pest control company. Well, we're in springtime. People are home eating every meal. Bugs and pests are about to come into homes like they've never seen before. And you've got to have a clean environment if you have kids and family and all that stuff. And so we are positioning our pest control company to be the leader in keeping people safe and in this very weird moment in time. And then finally, we work with a $1 billion title company, and they're a B2B company. Their customer is real estate agents. And so we have now completely remapped their marketing to market to the real estate agents to say, we will do all your closings virtually. So you don't even have to come in. The home buyers don't have to come in. We are here to keep you safe. All of those things are double downs. And when it's all said and done, we will own the marketplace for all 3 of those companies. I could keep going on the other ones, but that's a little highlight.
And it's interesting how you mentioned, the coronavirus is having a big impact on businesses. But I've noticed this with my ad spend, like you're getting the same result for like a third of the spend. And it's just incredible what these rates are, and they're not going to last forever at all. I do feel like there are people who they'll say like, oh, it's the coronavirus, like the timing's not right for me, or, oh, it's a holiday. And how can we get out of that mindset and just see the opportunity we have on any day, whether it's, a big pandemic or just thinking that holidays or whatever is not a good time to sell?
Yeah, I'm old enough to have been around in 2008 during the market crash, and I acted in fear, and I didn't make moves then, and I cost myself a ton of money. And I vowed them that I would never do that again. And so I would, for anybody listening right now, I think the key is this. Ask yourself this question. A year from right now, how do you want to be remembered for the way you acted during this? And I'm not just talking about like social distancing. I'm talking about your business. I'm talking about what you do. Do you want to say, we just got in the corner and got in the fetal position and sucked our thumbs? And by the way, I've done that. I did that in 2008. Or do you want to say, nope, we went for it. We got resilient. Maybe we didn't increase our ad spend. Maybe we did a little bit different over here or over here. How did you position your business to dominate when this thing recovers? Because we are going to recover, and we're going to be back in the same rat race. And just like you know this, Marc, you're a month ago, 2 months ago, you're competing against 10,000 other people in the same ad space, spending the same money. And those people, the people that spend the most money are going to dominate. I mean, it just, message and money in your space, right? And I'm telling you right now that 9,950 of those people are off the market right now. So why wouldn't you go all in? Why wouldn't you shove your chips on the table? I just wrote a piece on Medium. I explained all the factors that people aren't thinking about and how this is an exponential moment where you can optimize and grow everything you're doing in this moment and come out of it being one of the leaders in your marketplace. And so you can link to that if you want to look it up, Marc. You can link to it for your guests. It's on my Medium page. It's my last post. So you could do that.
Yeah, we'll definitely have that post in the show notes. And it's interesting how you mentioned 2008 versus now, because there are some people who they will always like back in the corner when they see a stressful situation. Others, they see the opportunity. They see I can spend a lot more on ads and get a lot more results now. So I'm wondering.
And people are home. People are on social media all day. They're not working anymore. Like, you got eyeballs, you got discounts. Good God almighty, what are we waiting on? Let's go.
But how do we, because I know you mentioned in 08, you saw the panic didn't let you see the opportunity. So how can we learn to see the opportunity rather than the panic?
We always make a comeback. When I fail in my business, I have failures in my business, I always double down and work even harder. And I solve problems all day long. That's what we do as business owners and entrepreneurs. We solve problems. You combine 300 million of us, and we're all going to solve a problem. And here's why we're going to come back. I'm dead serious. In the history of the world, the history of the world, there has never been a moment where we're all together fighting one thing. That's it. One thing, we're all in it together. I may be wrong. I tried to think through it. I couldn't find anything. When you got every great entrepreneur, every great doctor, every great scientist, every great innovator in the world fighting to beat one thing, you don't think we're going to come out of this? It is crazy. This is and not only that, there is tragedy out there. I am not discounting that at all, but I will tell you, man, this is also a chance for us to reset. I saw this personally in 2005 with Hurricane Katrina. Terrible devastation, lives lost, people's lives uprooted. But the city of New Orleans came back in force, and they built a city that's even greater than it was before 2005. And what I'm telling you right now is that's exactly what we're going through right now. This is a reset, and we're going to make it a better place to live. We're going to make better connections with people and stop getting on our devices 24/7. And we're going to learn some lessons out of this. There is a silver lining in everything we do in life. This is a silver lining, and we just don't know what it is yet, but I'm telling you it's coming.
We have more great content coming up in this episode, but first we have a message from our sponsor who helps people to have more happy moments in their lives. She does this through the Be You Find Happy e-journal, which contains prompts that will inspire you to reconnect with your authentic self and let go of things that aren't serving you. You can find out more in the show notes and also go to michaelarenee.com to join the empowered movement. Anyways, let's jump right back into the episode. That is a really great perspective because I know a lot of people are really nervous about what's going on. But if you look at long-term stuff, you know this is going to be over. You know world's going to go back to normal. It's just a matter of when, not a matter of if.
And
I
how
know.
do you want to be remembered in a year? What did you do in this moment? Ask yourself that question. Not only ask yourself that question, I challenge anybody listening to this right now, write the question down and on a notebook, a piece of paper, write out your answer for 20 minutes. I guarantee you most people are too scared to do that. But if you're really challenged by this, if you're committed, not interested, if you're committed to doing that, you will come up with some incredible things. I'll give you examples. You got companies out there that are making surgical masks. You got people out there, whiskey companies that are making hand sanitizer. You got Elon Musk that's coming up that is producing thousands of ventilators right now. These are the people that say, in a year from now, how will I be remembered? I love that. And by the way, I can market the fuck out of that too. And, let's talk about companies that are also doing this. Like Grubhub, Uber Eats, all these food delivery places, they're not running out there saying, coronavirus, we deliver, hire us. That's not what they're saying. You know what they're doing right now? They're saying, everybody's going through a tough time. We're going to deliver food like we always have. And we'll leave it at your door, and you don't have to see the person that delivers it. And that makes the person, again, it's about meeting the needs of the customer, not what you want to talk about. That's the whole key to the whole thing. No one should be in business unless they're there to meet the needs of the customer, rather than talking about what they want to talk about. So the needs of the customer right now are, I just want my food delivered, and I don't want to see the person that delivers it. And they understand that, and they're marketing that way, and kudos to all of those companies.
I mean, knowing what your customers want and need. I mean, that's essential. That's like if you look at analytics to give you an idea of that, you can look at, social stuff that's happening like the coronavirus at this stage of this recording. I'm wondering if you could share with us, so you mentioned those 5 different stages, those steps. I'm wondering if you could go into those so we have an idea of what it takes to really have this type of growth.
Yeah, so I'll quickly walk through how we do it in politics, and then I'll translate it over to business, okay? So the step 1 is, just like you just said, understanding your customer through data. So in politics, and this is very elementary, but for the sake of time and in this podcast, I'll just say it. We go out and take a poll in the state or the district the candidate's running in, right? And we find out what the voters care about. And I find out what the candidate cares about. And what we usually find is there are 2 issues where there's total alignment, where the voters are like, I'm voting for that issue no matter what, and the candidate believes in that issue. And then from that point forward, we don't talk about the other 8 things or the other 20 things that the candidate wants to talk about. We talk about 2. That's it. That's all the brain's going to be able to handle. So if you're out there throwing a million ideas at people, they're never going to take that in, right? So you got to stick to a few simple ideas, and the data has to tell you what that is. On my corporate side of my business, I went out and paid a licensing fee with the largest data collection company in America, and then we're able to overlay customer bases, lookalike audiences, and we can track, we put a pixel on a website and track anybody who comes to your website. And then I can put together a 45 to 60 page insane report on everything your customers want, feel, what their top values are in life, what platforms they're on a chronological order, as crazy as that sounds. I can tell you everything about them. So now you can deliver your message to them. Step 2, in a political campaign, we take that polling data and we devise a strategy around how we're going to win the race based on those 2 issues in the candidate. In corporate, same thing. We're going to devise, based on the data, what your customers want and marry it with what your mission is and what you're trying to sell. Right? It's not about what you want to talk about in your business. It's about what the customer wants out of your business. It's really key. Step 3, it's the branding side of things. So in politics, we create the website. We put those 2 issues all over the website. We create videos of the candidate, his family, also the candidate talking about those issues. We have policy positions. Everything's about the brand, right? Got to get the brand in order before the voters come in and want to learn about the candidate. Same thing on the corporate side. We go in, we shoot the videos. Like, look, if your website doesn't have video, you're totally fucked right now. You got to have video. You got to have great branding based on what the data tells you, not what you want to talk about. Not like I went to 99 Designs and me or whatever, and they gave me a bunch of things that I think are really cool. Like, you won't work with me if that's your mentality. Okay. So step 4, this happens both in corporate and in political, but it's a little different. So let me tell you, it's the testing phase. So instead, the politician that starts out, like I said earlier, usually doesn't have a ton of money. So what we do when we find out what the data tells us is we will take those message points and create multiple ads to figure out what's going to resonate the most with the voter. On the Trump campaign in 2016, the Trump campaign would run, for example, they would run 162 different variations of one ad on Facebook. They would have different fonts, they'd have different pictures, they'd have different colored backgrounds, a green background, a blue background. They would have a woman in the picture, they'd have a man in the picture. They would put one thing in the right corner, then the next ad would be in the left corner, like 162 versions of one ad. Ultimately, they would find 3 or 4 that would explode. They couldn't figure out why, but everybody went to it, clicked through it like crazy. And then that's when you go to step 5, you shove all your chips on the table and you start a marketing campaign. Too often on the corporate side, they all say, yeah, we're going to run this big testing campaign. I don't believe in big spin tests. I also hate banner ads, but I think they're incredibly important in the testing phase, because if you're creative in your message, get somebody to click on a fucking banner ad, then man, that's a good creative, because no one's clicking on banner ads, right? Are you clicking on banner ads?
No.
No, of course. But if you clicked on something, you're super curious. And that's telling me that that's going to work for my corporate clients. That message that we're selling to that customer is going to work. And so those are the 5 steps. Here's the crazy thing. There is not one marketing firm in America, corporate marketing firm, following those 5 steps, except us, me. They follow certain parts of those steps. They follow them in a different order. But I'm telling you right now, those 5 steps in that order, if followed, will grow their bottom line every time. And, you know, if you want, you can go to my website. We have a free data assessment. I think it's phillipstutts.com. Just go to the free offers tab. It's a free data assessment, and it helps you. My team will, you'll fill out a little information, and then my team will call you and they'll walk through. You can ask them any questions you want on how to look at data, customer data, anything you want. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. Feel free to do it.
We will have those links down in the show notes. And I think that's such a great breakdown. And like hearing it, like, you know, it makes sense. It's just a matter of sticking to the plan. And I mean, 162 ads with slightly different variations. It definitely takes a lot of work to do something like that, but that's the type of stuff you got to do to see the different results coming.
Yeah, I'll give you another example. We have a NASDAQ traded company we work with, and they ran an ad campaign, and they wanted to, you know, boost their ROI. We were able to increase their bottom line of their company by 16% over a 21-day period. But the ad that we ran, that was ran through our cycle, on average was seen 4.15 times, okay? And we still increased their bottom line by 16%. On a political campaign, we'll average running an ad to a target audience of, let's say it's 110,000 voters. We will average that voter seeing that ad 30 times. That's committed versus interested, if you want to know what the difference is. 30. If you saw an ad 30 times, it will never leave your brain. And that's what we do in politics, and what I'm trying to get business owners to understand how they need to do it with their marketing.
Wow. I love that comparison between interested and committed, with the numbers to back it up and all the success and results to back it up too. Phillip, this has been such an amazing conversation. I know you mentioned links, which will be in the show notes. Do you want us to link to anything else as well, in addition to your site, the free data assessment, and your Medium article?
No, I'm good, man. Enjoyed it, and I hope this was helpful for anybody listening.